With Dan Plezak, as always, I'm Fran Charles, and we're pleased to be joined by the old skipper, Buck Showalter, your 8th year here in Baltimore. Danny and I were just talking about time flies. Huh?
This is how good a guy Dan is. See how he's slumping so I don't look so short?
You and me both.
Making you look good.
You know, friends are people know all about you and still like you, right?
Absolutely. Buck, what do you like best about this club heading into 2017?
I think that I feel confident we're going to be as good as we're capable of being because these guys, they're going to play up to their level. They're going to seek their level, and that's saying a lot. You know, that's the thing that keeps people up at night is, boy, are we going to be as good as we're capable of being? And they hold themselves to a high standard. They don't spend a lot of time listening to what prognosticators say and what should be on paper and what analytics should say you shouldn't be able to do. In fact, they kind of embrace that. They like proving people wrong.
Zach Britton, best closer in the game of baseball right now.
Should have won the Cy Young. Explain to me why he didn't win it.
That's what I was just going to ask you. How did he not win?
He had the best relief year of anybody in the history of the game.
Right.
Okay, so how do you build on that? And he was always there for us. You know you really got something special, Dan, when you're at Yankee Stadium with a 1-run lead or Fenway Park and they got 3, 4, 5 coming up and he throws about 12 pitches. I can't tell you the stress that takes off a team mentally and emotionally, knowing how much is enough. And it's been so much fun to watch Zach grow, not only as a pitcher, but as a teammate and as a defender, as a guy that's a voice of reason. He holds himself to such a high standard. He's so tough mentally, and he never assumes anything.
You've watched more baseball than I have, and I marvel. There have been some really good left-handed guys that finish the game, but I've never seen a guy, John Franco had that two-seamer, but I've never seen a guy throw 98 to 100 with sink like he does.
Well, you know, the ideal situation for managers is a left-handed closer because you can negate the left-handed bats off the bench, you can negate the stolen base, you know, guys that can keep the ball in the ballpark, and you know that's what really, you know, everybody would love to have the utopia of a left-handed closer, and especially if you look at the way a lot of ballparks play, but it doesn't matter whether Zach's right or left-handed. The guy's a good breaking ball, and you know, on that third day when he's pitching 3 days in a row, he'll break out a little different look for you, and he knows who he is and he knows who he isn't. And he doesn't get away from what he knows he does well. You know, he knew that there were going to be a lot of choppers and slow rollers off him, so he worked all last spring about fielding his position, and to see him always attacking anything perceived as a weakness has been huge for us.
2 young starters I want to ask you about. Bundy and Gosman, they need to take it to the next level this year?
Well, the level was pretty good last year, but you know, the process that young pitchers go through is, you know, it's unlike any other sport. And you know, in football, let's face it, college football, they go right in and they're all pro the first year. Guys come out of Stanford and they're leading the PGA Tour. Guys come out of high school and play in the NBA. It doesn't happen in baseball, especially with pitching. You got to go through the process of the learning curve, and these guys have the tough part of the process behind them. So on paper, they should be able to do that. But you know, someone asks me every night, how's Gosman going to do? How's Bundy going to do tonight? Well, those guys over there are going to tell me how they're doing. It's real simple. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to know how it's going to work, because there's my barometer every night, that scoreboard. So they're in a position to do that, but it's hard to do. Pitching in the big leagues is really hard to do, especially in the American League with the DH.
How happy are you to have Mark Trumbo back in the fold?
I got a lot smarter. You know, Mark's not only a good player, he's a good teammate. He's a part of the culture of our clubhouse and the way that he you know, he treats everybody. He's a great fit for us as a person as much as a player, and he was a pretty good hitter last year and did some things for us defensively that we needed him to do to put a certain lineup on the field, and we're glad he chose us. He had a lot of options. He's an example of a guy that looked around, has been some other places, and really liked the way, you know, the way things worked here for him. It fit his and he's all, you know, he's still getting paid. It's still working out, all right, but you know, he could have, I think he had a really good feel for what was going on this offseason and made what I thought a real mature decision that some players should probably take a look at.
You got a core of your team actually took part in the WBC. Dan
core? I'm hoping they show up today.
Well, Dan mentioned Gibbons, Jonathan Scope, your second baseman. Let's talk about your 2 superstars. And first off, the catch, Adam Jones. I mean, how proud are you of Adam, of just the leadership role he's taken on Team USA?
Yeah, we have one of the smallest markets in baseball. We think it's the biggest. You know, our fans are so passionate. They're the best in baseball. It's just, but I'm glad that the world got to see what we get to see every day and on that stage. And Adam welcomed it. It meant a lot to him to play for the United States. And I know how he usually does spring training. He came in the best shape I've seen him since he was a young pup. and I knew how much it was important for him to be there for his team, USA. And every time he takes it at bat or does something, I'm so proud of him and Manny and John and Michael and Wellington.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
it's special to watch them. You know, they had a lot of catchers to pick from. Dominican did, and they picked Wellington Castillo, and we're lucky to have him.
Manny Machado looks dialed in mid-season form right now. I mean, the last couple of years, obviously, he's been an MVP candidate. But how impressed are you with just his development?
You know, the thing I like, Manny comes out here every day like he's playing his first game on the sandlot. He loves baseball. He loves being there. He takes on the responsibility and the accountability of wearing that mantle. I mean, if that's where the game's going with the young players, we're in good shape with Manny. Manny cares. He wants to be the best, and he has a lot of respect for his teammates. And you know, we were fortunate to have him pass our way, but he cares about playing the game on both sides of the ball, and he plays it with a lot of zest. He doesn't like to be embarrassed out here, and that doesn't happen very often.
I mentioned off the top, 3 of the last 5 years you've been in the postseason, obviously still chasing the big prize. But we talked to the players about just the atmosphere that you create here, and would love to hear from you.
Well, they do.
Why do you have so much success?
They do. They do. It's about the players. It's what they choose to be about, and you know, we do our homework before we get them. You know, and I think people understand. We love being good at the things you can't quantify, and when people scratch their head, and you know, our guys get it. They get what the difference maker and the things that we have to be good at. And it's not just sweating the details. Heck, everybody does it, and everybody tries, but you know, it's something they want to be about. You know, I'm a ship passing tonight. I got where I am on this food chain, and it's about the players. And I've been fortunate enough to, you know, have some input on who. And we've had some people that left that we'd have liked to kept. But the dynamics of the game and how we have to do it. You know, when I first came here, it was like, who are we and how are we going to do it? And let's don't confuse our fans. Let's be consistent in the way we go about it. And Bowie and Norfolk and Delmarva and Frederick and Aberdeen, and you know, they know that we're going to look from within. We had the smallest camp in baseball because the people that came in here, we were going to out-opportunity people and try to out-relationship people.
19th year as a manager,
19
going
years.
into his 19th year, Danny.
I ain't making
I
20.
need 3 weeks so I can get you one left.
No, you need one day. This guy over here, we can't get him out, Danny. I'll tell you, this guy, 99, we won 100 games because Dan Plesac knew how to keep Barry Bonds in the ballpark. That's it. I go, Danny, what are you doing? So I ain't trying to get him out. These guys are trying to embarrass him. They're getting in trouble. One night, best night, he comes in there because he's always sitting on a breaking ball. Everybody's trying to get him swinging. He don't swing at nothing out of his own.
Right.
So Danny goes, fastball strike 1. I went, ooh. Fastball strike 2. I went, woo. Fastball strike 3, and he comes off the mound, looks at me and goes,